It's time for this week's product spotlight. This week, we're talking forages. And joining me now is Sheldon Haynes. He's the forage product line manager with Nutrien Ag Solutions. And Sheldon, there are some pretty cool things coming up for 2019.
Thanks for having me, Lindsay.
All right, so let's talk about alfalfa first. What do we got lined up?
Sure, we actually have two new alfalfa products coming out this year. The first is PV Parlor HG, which has improved fiber digestibility for the dairy industry. So it's still a multifoliate, so you can get multiple cuts. It has a higher leaf to stem ratio, and basically it's just gonna, you're gonna be able to get more of your feed to your cattle, whereas with the later maturing plants, that stem is really going to become a problem. And then the next one is Halo 2. We already have a Halo alfalfa that's improved saline tolerance, but with this one, it actually has an improved winter hardiness to it. That's always been an issue, obviously for alfalfa, and especially with last year with the winter kill we saw across the prairies. I think it's going to be a great benefit. Two great products coming out for alfalfa.
And I will just comment that I love the name Parlor. It's quite lovely.
Yeah, we like it. I think it's going to resonate with the dairy industry. Obviously, people outside of the dairy industry maybe won't see the connection right away, but
hey, that's okay.
Yeah, we think that's a promise.
Yeah, this is for dairy producers, so that's okay. Now, alfalfa isn't the only species to have a new line coming out for 2019. Tell me about your orchard grass.
Yeah, you bet. It's called Blizzard Orchard Grass, and again, improved winter hardiness. Orchard grass has a big problem with winter kill as well, especially when you see a higher percentage in your stand. You can really lose that quickly, depending on the year. So, improved winter hardiness there. So you're going to be able to keep that stand for more years than you would with some of the older varieties.
All right. So, and that Blizzard name indicative there of hopefully standing up against several of them, if they should come along. All right, moving on from new varieties into something maybe that's gaining in popularity and a little different. What does Nutrien Ag Solutions have for pollinator mixes? And do you have some tips for those that might be interested in setting up some pollinator habitat?
Sure. We actually have two pollinator mixers. We have an annual and a perennial, depending on how long you want it to be there for. We offer it in a 10 kg and a 22.7 kg bag, so depending on how much you want to do as well. And regarding kind of, how you want to get it established, it's very similar to other things. Seedbed prep is really important. You want to make sure that you get a good burn off in the spring. If you still have some trash there, you may want to incorporate that. But, it's going into areas where there's more marginal land, maybe less production, hedgerows, ecologically sensitive areas, right, near water. So it's basically it's something that people will try on a smaller scale and then maybe see some success and scale up. It's going to provide some great soil health, some nitrogen fixation, depending on the blends. But I guess the real big key is the extended bloom period with the different species, so that pollinators, have pollen for longer stretches of the year. Right, it's going to provide a cover crop. So lots of really great benefits to a pollinator mix.
Right, and that is so key. There's always, it's that mix of that balance of early and middle summer and later in the year blooms that our pollinators need to feed on. So really cool there that there's some pre-made ones. Don't take the guesswork out, and away you go. Now, we do have a forage incentive program with Ducks Unlimited as well that your company offers. Tell me a bit about that.
Sure. We've had a long relationship with Ducks Unlimited Canada. We formalized that last year, and we do now have a long-term agreement. And basically, it's for growers that are wanting to put some land back to grasses, right? So the key is, basically, if you're interested in the program, there's a savings of $100 per bag for Alberta or Saskatchewan, and then $90 an acre for Manitoba. You basically talk with the Ducks Unlimited rep, find out if your land qualifies, and then you're going to be able to start looking at what kind of a blend you want to put in there. So, I mean, it's really just a good option that growers have if they are interested in putting back grass into their land, and Ducks Unlimited is basically there to kind of provide some of that transition.
Okay. And of course, for farmers making some calls, some decisions for 2019, forage guides are always a plus. Will we see one soon?
We will have those out in late November, and we're actually hoping to have some ready for AgriTrade in Red Deer, but we'll see. And then they'll also be coming out in the Canadian Cattlemen's in early December. So we will, obviously with the rebrand to Nutrien Ag Solutions, we did a lot of work on this, and we're really proud of the new Forage Guide, and I'd like to give a quick shout-out to our communications team on all the work that they've done. But that's where you'll be able to find all of our breakdown on different programming and also the varieties that we offer.
Okay, great. And in the meantime, what website can people go to for more information?
They can go to nutrienagsolutions.ca, and that's where you can link to seed there and look at all of our different product lines, including forages.
All right, wonderful. Okay, Sheldon, thank you so much for joining me today on today's Product Spotlight.